Kiss me sweet, and we'll go flying high in birdland, high in the sky up above. High in the sky up above. High in the sky up above.
Hello future engineers, I am Kathleen Joy Carpio, an industrial engineering student of Batangas State University. For today's video, I will be providing you a tutorial on how to create a figure with specific coordinates, length, and angle using AutoCAD. After making the figure, we will be adding dimensions to it. But for now, let's open the application. After opening AutoCAD, it will show us the Start tab and we will click on this to start drawing. As you can see, this is our drawing area, where we will be creating our figure. We have the drawing grid activated and we will just zoom in on this part. To start drawing, the first coordinate that we will be plotting is coordinates 1 and 1. And to do that, we will be using the line command. We can simply type L in the command window or we can click on this manually. After clicking on that, we have to specify the coordinates. We will just type #1, 1 and enter. So this is our first point. We're just going to zoom in on the drawing area for us to see better. The next step is to plot the second coordinate, which is 4.1 and 1. Repeating the same process and typing #4.1, 1 will give us this line as a result. The last coordinate to plot is 4.5 and 2.2. We will be typing that as well and click enter. Now that we are done with the coordinates, let's proceed with the lines containing both a specific length and angle. For this one, it has a length of 2.3 and an angle of 0 degrees because it's a straight line. The next step is to make a line that has a length of 1.4 and an angle of 150 degrees. However, in this case, from 180 degrees, we're going to subtract 150 degrees and that will result to 30 degrees. Simply type 30 degrees and then we have to make the next line, which has a length of 2.1 and a 90-degree angle. The next one is a line with a length of 1.6 and an angle of 150 degrees again. But just like the first 150-degree angle that we did earlier, from 270 degrees, we will subtract 150 degrees, which is the original angle that we are aiming for. After subtracting, we will get a measurement of 120 and that will be the angle to be used. Now, type 1.6 for the length and 120 degrees for the angle. This next line is another straight line with a length of 1.3 and an angle of 180 degrees. For the next one, it has a measurement of 1.4 and a 90-degree angle. We will just type the digits here. Still using the line command, we will be creating a line of 2.2 with an angle of 45 degrees. However, we will subtract 45 degrees from 180 degrees and that will give us a 135-degree angle. This will be continued with a different line that has a length of 1 and an angle of 180 degrees. This next one is another 45 degrees, but using the same process as the first, subtracting the given angle to 180 degrees will result to 135, and we will be typing that along with the length, which is 1.5. We will make another straight line with the length of 1 and an angle of 180 degrees. The second to the last line has a length of 2.3 and a 60-degree angle. Now all we have to do is to connect the 2 points together to finish off the figure. As you can see, this resulted to an angle of 120 degrees, which is what we're originally aiming for. So, we're just going to click enter to exit the command. Visually, we can say that we have successfully created the figure that was assigned for us to make. The only thing left to do is to add the dimensions for this figure. But to do that, we need to head over to the annotation panel and edit the dimension style. In this case, I want to modify the size of the dimension that we will be putting in this figure. I'm deciding to enter 0.05 so that it will be the right size for our fairly small shape. Just click OK and then close. The first dimension that we will be adding is the straight lines, followed by the angles, and lastly is the coordinates. For now, we will be clicking on the Align Dimension command. I prefer to use this instead of linear so I can put dimensions for both the slanted and straight lines. We'll specify the point just like this, but we're going to start adding the dimensions on this part. Again, we're just going to click on the Align Dimension command and click on the 2 points that we want to measure. This is 2.3. And in order to repeat the same command that we have just used, we can just click on Enter and then that will repeat the previous command that we made. Now, this is 1.4. If we move to the next line, that will give us 2.1. Click Enter again and connect the points. So, 1.6. The corresponding line is a straight line and this is 1.3. Here we have a length of 1.4. Enter again and just continue adding the dimensions. This is now 2.2. So the next line has a length of 1. Add another dimension and the outcome is 1.5. Just click Enter to repeat the command. Now this is 1 again. And this is 2.3. Presently, I think that's about it for the dimensions of the straight and slanted lines. Continuing on, we can proceed to the angles of the figure. For that, we will be using the Angular Dimension command. The first angle that we need to measure is this part. In order to execute that, we have to click on the 2 lines that we want to measure. That gave us an angle of 150 degrees. The next angle is another 150 degrees. So let's measure that. Just click Enter again to repeat the command. If we move over in this part, a dimension should be added in the next angle and that is 45 degrees. Another 45 degrees is to be added here. However, we first need to insert a straight line so that putting the dimension can become easier. Click again on the 2 lines and that will result to 45 degrees. Now this is the second to the last angle, and that should be 60 degrees. For the last angle, we also have to add another line here using the line command for the ease in putting dimensions, and that's 120 degrees. As you can see, we're done with inserting the dimensions of the lines and the angles. The last thing that we have to add is the coordinates of the 3 points. In this part, we will be using the text command and we will be clicking on this. We will be placing it here and we're just going to specify the space we want it to be in. Now, I have to change the font size. I prefer it to be 0.14 so it can complement the font size of the other dimensions in the figure. Just click Enter and type the coordinates. For this one, I will insert 1 and 1. Moving on to the next coordinate, we have 4.1 and 1. Just repeat the same steps. Zooming on that to have a better look at the workspace. The font size should also be 0.14 and Enter. Now, let's type the coordinates 4.1 and 1. Let's resize this to fit the digits inside. After adjusting that, we can head over to the last coordinate, which is 4.5 and 2.2. Click on the text command as well and specify the area where you want the text to appear. Change the font size again and type our last coordinate. I want to move it a bit closer to the point, so to do that, I will click on the move command and click on the object. After moving that, we can zoom out on the drawing area to have a look on the activity that we have just accomplished. It's safe to say that we have finished all the steps that we are asked to make, including the creation of the figure and the incorporation of the dimensions and coordinates. So that is it for this tutorial. Thank you and have a productive day, future engineers.